victims, aren't we all?
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
You all look great. The end of the Republic has never looked better.
I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in. You got to catapult the propaganda.
And I'm looking forward to seeing them on the field of competition over the next 2 years. Thanks very much, everybody.
Take a look at this douchebag gang stalker. He's running away now that I'm filming him. Bye, douchebag gang stalker. Pathetic fucktard that he is.
Hello, I'm Dr. Catherine Horton. This is a description of what happens to the victims once they get blacklisted by the intelligence agencies.
And to believe it or not, like a lot of this happening to me is me being self-aware of kind of what's going on.
Subjected to this kind of behavior by so very many people, you begin to wonder if the problem is you or if the problem is really them.
It seems to be the case that this is done on contract for the government to test certain weapons, or even for contractors. It's essentially like a program that targets them for life, and they become outlaws for life. So people are tortured inside their deathbed, people are tortured inside their old people's homes, and so on.
Like I said, assassination, that's exactly what it is. By then they've put so much stuff in your food, and you know, keep in mind, like there's a lot of organized crime and stuff like that.
You're just doing normal everyday things that every other person does, and people are looking for ways to find a way to hurt you or incriminate you or whatnot because they've been told to watch you. And that's what happens when you are a targeted individual.
I'm hoping that there's at least just 1 or 2 genuine TIs that are watching my videos and getting some help. They're gonna make all my videos disappear on YouTube, because they've done that before. They've deleted all my videos before.
I hear there's rumors on the internets. I have filters on internets.
I have been the victim of stalking for almost 10 years of my life.
It seems to be the case that these sprawling intelligence agencies use the life of the victims for their own purposes. And this could be anything. It could be the training up of young spies, the testing of weapons, the testing of pharmaceuticals, or the testing of the interaction of pharmaceuticals and nanotech with weapons.
And when these things keep happening over and over and over again to your animals, for example, or you know, the other day it looked as if my home had been broken into. I'm sorry, I'm walking. And
that's part of the problem, is trying to just keep your health okay, because you can't even think straight, let alone day by day. Your health is always changing, and maybe now you're aware that, hey, I'm being slipped drugs, or when I'm drinking this I feel this way, etc. So now you need to change your food choices.
And people who pay externally, it's kind of hard to pin it down exactly, but there are indications for all of these things playing together. And it stands to reason that all of these things would also play together. So once one has a corrupt system, all of these factors would contribute.
You know, local crime knows the area. They know certain things that maybe this independent contractor was done to hire to, you know, ruin you. It also helps them on the ground.
My cat Henry has had, it looks like, hot oil put on his head. And this happened today when I came home.
Yeah, I am in Wisconsin now. Slowly making my way towards New York. And you know, I'm almost there. I mean, a few more states and I should be there.
In detail, what seems to happen to victims falls into a set of categories, a set of certain topics. So one of the first and most prominent aspects is essentially what the victims call gang stalking or organized stalking.
A fairly common thing that they do, the gang stalkers do, is they'll send out falsified documents on an individual, and they will also try and give a gag order of sorts, apparently, to where people can't even tell you if they want to that they're being asked to illegally surveil you and try and collect, you know, anything on you.
Yeah. At this point, you know what I'm saying, they've tried to push you out of town. They try to get you to change your name. No, that'll happen. Just start anew. That'll be the solve your problems.
They've probably been following me around for a little while. The Jewish fucking Zionist pigs. I told you about how they relentlessly attacked me the other day. The absolute worst attack I've had can strip you. Mental attack, that is. And
this is being at the mercy of the sprawling, out of control human intelligence networks, the informants, the surveillance personnel, and all these miscellaneous contributors.
They'd be very excited about helping me, and then they would tell me, for some reason, that they couldn't help me. And that was really quite hard because it would be costly a lot of times.
You know what I'm saying? They'll give you the recipe to supposedly make it all better.
Something's really not right when somebody is being bullied by a whole community, and there is literally no justice that they are receiving.
The way the stalkers act betrays the fact that they do know the content of their communications. They have advanced knowledge of where certain meetings take place and so on.
I mean, it was just the craziest fucking mental attack I've had ever in my life. I mean, like, even with all my fucking protection and organizing and all this shit, man, it was fucking driving me crazy. Like, it's fucking insane. Like I told you, they're fucking bringing out all the fucking, like, military grade weapons on me.
And a lot of this information is online. It's just not all in one package, you know what I'm saying, to kind of present like a big picture of, oh, that's a thing, you know what I'm saying, like.
But I mean, I'm somebody who's always looked to help people, and I'm not somebody who's ever looked to break the law or hurt anyone. So
then also this sort of organized stalking is done very overtly, very demonstratively, also with the with the purpose of disconcerting the victims as well. Then what also seems to happen is systematic break-ins into the home. That's a very common thing that is reported.
Like, I'm making it known, like, wherever I go to, every city I go to, I talk to cops and fire departments and stuff like that, and I let them know what I'm doing.
And I think it was ACLU or somebody got the cops to reveal, and like, oh yeah, we've had this thing for like 10 years, we haven't told the public about it. It's called the Stingray, and it's in every cop car. We can just dial in your cell phone, and now we can listen in on your cell phone calls.
I know back in Ohio I used to always hear clicks on my phone when I would be talking to people, and it would be at very strange times in the conversation.
So the break-ins would be what I term Stasi style. So the purpose is not burglary, but the purpose is disconcertment or inconveniencing the person. In these break-ins, typically items are demonstratively rearranged in a way that's noticeable, or items are taken away or put back again after a while, or foreign items appear.
I have come back home to see destruction to my property.
And that's a fucked up thing. Well, this is a fucked up thing. Gang stalking, or, you know what I'm saying, I won't say organized harassment. I wouldn't even call it gang stalking because, like I said, don't inflate something by giving it a big scary name.
So these kind of mind games are played on the victims.
Cops on me, and the cop, this was one of the nicest cops that I've had. You know, he's very nice to me, very cordial. I explained to him what was going on. We had a long conversation. I told him everything about targeted individuals and, you know, how it's being attacked with direct energy weapons, and, you know, he didn't seem to, like, discredit me or anything. He actually said that I sounded, reasonable, and he understood, because he said he's had these conversations with other conspiracy people, so-called conspiracy people before.
And I know with me, I was really scared that I was going to sound like I was crazy, and that nobody was going to believe me. And that was a really, it makes it feel so much more you feel so much more isolated when you're going through it.
Horrific injuries due to systematically being shot into with these microwave weapons inside their four walls. Their body is taken over, their health is systematically shot to pieces or disintegrated with nanotechnology.
This organized, harassment is a real thing. It's a program, and it's a recipe because, it happens this sort of way, and it achieves very similar results almost every time.
Gang stalking is real. I'm a targeted individual, and to all those other targeted individuals, just keep your head up, be strong, we'll get through it.
This is what's being done. So everything, psychological terrorism, vandalism, non-consensual medical experimentation, remote brain interference, limb control, speech control, horrific injuries, horrific testing. So this is what we're dealing with. Oh, slander campaigns, and also sometimes the targeting and the maiming and murder of their pets, the targeting of their friends, of their families, sometimes for their entire life, so all the way until they die.
Protect yourself and use your time wisely, because there'll be a trap set. And it sounds lame, but like I said, at the end of the day, somebody's just getting paid to do this.
And this is just the beginning. So this is just what falls under the organized stalking and harassment category. So, digital harassment, digital sabotage, psychological torture, and these Stasi methods.
The true thing is gang stalking. And I am a targeted individual.
As they literally do try and turn the whole world against you. And they're told that they have to do it in secret, etc., etc., etc. But it's against US law, it's against state law in Ohio, it's against all of the anti-stalking laws, it's also against federal law. It can be punishable by death if you cause death or suicide in the individual that you are stalking.
Then come a new category, which is attacks with electromagnetic equipment. These are microwave weapons which can target the victims inside the home and give them medical symptoms, pain, can trigger muscles remotely, cause terror, organ damage, brain damage, damage to eyesight through irradiation with microwaves or focused shots.
I have been being gang stalked for about 2 to 3 years now. And at first I just thought it was the world hating me. But I recently found out that it's not, so.
There are laws against it. It's simply that we have kind of forgotten about it, I guess, as a society, or the importance of them and enforcing them and making sure that people don't become victims of this kind of crime, and that we do stand up against it in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our police departments.
Don't give up because you're a human, and don't give up because, fuck them.
It's been 2 to 3 years, and definitely getting used to it. Not crazy, I know what goes down.
I know it's a hard crime to prove, but it does happen. And if you take all of the little pieces of evidence, and if you look into the different areas where the individual has been and worked. And if you do investigate, I guarantee you, at least in my case, you will find evidence of stalking.
Then there's, on top of the microwave weapons, there's an extra layer, which is the, it falls in the same category. It's called voice to skull. This is a technology whereby sound can be essentially beamed into the head. So instead of using the ears, it is stimulating the actual auditory system inside the head.
Maybe the person that originally set it off, you know, didn't like you for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? They must live on another planet, because poor people don't say fuck you like this.
So the actual harassment follows a play pattern or a punishment pattern. So when they try to protect themselves, they get punished even harder, they get microwaved even harder.
I've just overheard far too many conversations that I wasn't meant to hear. And I'm also very, I don't know, pretty turned on to what's going on, and I have been for a long time.
Why me? Why am I a targeted individual? I have no clue. But I'll tell you one thing, it kind of sucks sometimes. Sometimes. Other times, most of the time, I just don't even give a shit.
And many people have complained about this over the years. They were not believed. Voice-to-skull technology was entirely ignored by the professionals in psychiatry and psychology, even though the patents were around. Now the patents are on Google. You can find them straight away.
Poor people just say fuck you. You either fucking slap it out in the street, or you just keep walking and be like, that dude was an asshole. So I don't know. It's kind of like me trying to talk to a fucking dolphin. Like, I don't understand why that motherfucker's mad.
Luckily, I'm one of the peaceful people. I'm very forgiving. I am a Christian. But there's a lot of people who have to go through this, and they shouldn't.
Reports are that the speech can be forced. They can be forced to say certain things that they don't mean to say. Their limbs can be controlled. Their hands can be remote steered. Their limbs can be made to jerk. Eye movement can be controlled. Perceptions can be controlled. The actual brain thought processes can be overloaded or can be forced onto certain topics. The internal dialogue can be forced onto certain topics. Victims are also electroshocked or receive a pulse to the head if they don't think the right things.
All I gotta say is that to all you other targeted individuals, you know, keep your head up. You know, live your life, enjoy it.
It's a gnarly thing, and it's nothing to bellyache and bitch about, because, like I said, you'll be presented as a lot of reasons why this will happen, and there'll be a lot of people in town who think at this point, because like I said, they've already gotten you, you know what I'm saying, to throw every other people under the bus because you think that person is attacking you, etc. You know, so like I said, the layer cake, you know what I'm saying, it's a false sword technique where they're making everyone fight each other. It's just chaos, it's organized chaos. But
now the victims experiencing voice-to-skull experience harassment, intimidation, death threats, humiliation, sexual abuse, sexual denigration, racism, everything you can imagine.
Maybe it is their mission to bring us down, but stand strong. You know, be yourself, be happy.
They're gathering intel on you. You know, you got all the subtle things that are happening that are obviously making you know that, you know what I'm saying, somebody is using a method of surveillance on you, whether it be your phone or what have you.
I think that the biggest thing that I want to get across to anyone listening to me is that targeted individuals, it's not them. And it's a very hard crime to prove. Unfortunately.
I don't know of a single victim who is being blasted with really positive, encouraging words through the voice-to-skull technology.
Try to not let it get to you, because it gets to me sometimes, and I'm telling you, sometimes I'll be depressed, sometimes I'll be sad, mad, pissed, but hopefully it will end. Hopefully.
There is, so the voice-to-skull goes back to patents in the 1970s, but these days it has been around. It has been diagnosed by psychiatrists for absolutely decades.
You have now these little, calling cues, of people saying weird things to you and making you to behave a certain way because it's a knee-jerk reaction, like a Pavlovian way of building a language with you.
And many other horrific things are happening to them in a systematic fashion, and a lot of the time the victims are not believed because people think, oh, so many things could never happen to one person at the same time, and that's precisely the point.
Now that I know what's really going on out there, my real situation, I feel better about it.
So the voice-to-skull is used on many victims. Then there's another layer, which is essentially what's called sometimes psychotronic weapons, or brain interference weapons.
I don't feel good that I am a targeted individual, but I do feel good that I know that I am being stopped, and that I don't let it get to me as much.
Whereby certain emotions can be triggered, also using, for example, focused microwave beams, triggering a certain gland. This has been described by Dr. Barry Trow, a microwave weapons expert. But there are many other ways human emotions and thought processes can be interfered with.
And it really sucks because a lot of bad shit happens to your friends and family, and you're made to be the person holding the gun. And it's sad because bad stuff will happen to people you really care about, and it's not their fault.
I'm glad to learn that I'm not alone anymore, and that there's other targeted individuals that are going through the same thing I'm going through.
And you'll get put in a situation where you'll get shocked or whatever, and then they'll say these phrases or have like a certain person wearing a t-shirt with like a bear on it, and then like after a while they'll start doing these mean things to you, and there'll be a bear there, or somebody say the word bear, or they'll be like bears, 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 you know what I'm saying, in a way of taunting you as you start to gain an understanding of how this process works.
And a new technology seems to be this remote neural monitoring, or what's known as remote neural monitoring, whereby human beings are remote controlled, so their brain signatures read out, and the signal that the brain generates during activity is essentially read out, analyzed, and then fed back.
They're building this language with you, and it's their way of being able to say things to you and make you feel harassed or scared or whatever, but to everyone else they just hear someone saying fuzzy banana and just like, oh, that's nothing. And
the blinding of the lights, the honking of the horns, the sirens for no reason, it's just ridiculous. Why? I truly can't tell you why.
And this building of a language goes along into, like I said, the digital realm too, because a lot of the software that's being made available to, like, security firms, local law enforcement, like, police departments, etc.
All you other targeted individuals are always on my mind. And I want you guys to know we'll all stay strong, and that we can all hopefully get over this whole gang stalking thing, because it's really annoying.
So this is done by hooking up essentially the analysis of their brain functionality to a supercomputer and reading it out remotely. As I understand it, it can be enhanced with certain compounds or certain synthetic nanotech particles or agents that the victims can ingest or can be injected with.
And it's hard to work. It's hard to leave the house, you know.
Because your internet is filtered, you know what I'm saying, through your city, and then you have your region, and then you have your county, and then your section of your state, and then, you know what I'm saying, there's a big NSA filtering place that goes, you know what I'm saying, sends the data to the next area or region.
And essentially the situation seems to be that what victims become is a plaything, and it's to the first order outlaws without any human rights whatsoever. And they become a plaything and an avatar for testing purposes of the intelligence agencies.
So, I mean, on like a small town scale, this software can be implemented, and people are brought in to teach, you know, local people, etc., how to use the software and how it coexists along with their original, you know, COINTELPRO gang stalking program.
So they will have anything you can imagine done to them, not just property damage and Stasi-style stalking or COINTEL-style stalking, but also mind interference, very much akin to the death camp experiments from the Nazi times, the MK Ultra trauma-based mind control experiments.
Keep your head strong, TIs, and you know, don't lose faith, because we can get through this.
Now that is entirely in the public domain, and one has to go back and actually listen to what these victims have been saying all these years to get a feeling for the extent of the crimes, the lawlessness and the psychopathology, ruthlessness and criminality in the intelligence agencies who have been committing these crimes for decades.
The sonic symbols everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the truth.
I'm ready.
It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Stand for freedom here and now.
Undo the spell.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna free this town
Bring it.
tonight. Who's gonna free this town tonight?
What's up?
The new world order's going down.
What up, Fame? We are, yes I said it, we are. Watch the truth rising, global resistance. Get your fatigue, cause they sold out everyone. Black people, white people, sold out everyone. Jay-Z's another buster, kneeling down a Bilderberg. I'll get more in depth, cause your boys really need a word. Throwing up a pyramid, it's all Illuminati. dope blow to suck a new old daughter dick like a homo. CIA recruitment, that's faux show. We know you like a fish stick, sucker, we got photos. Gay escorts, bohemian passports, little bitch at the Grove that everybody asks for. If you ask Taylor Swift, she'll say he's an asshole. But behind closed doors, he's Jay-Z's favorite back door. Turned out, sold out on love for his people. Just like Barack Obama saying evil. Now they'll probably call me racist like we're living in the 50s. Even though my countless vote went to Cynthia McKinney, yeah. But they can't understand how Bilderberg's hand is behind this racial plan. White power, black power, better read the art of war. No power, one power, what the fuck we fighting for? Freedom, we're standing up to the drama that they do bring. Just check the left hand, see the G-ring, and mock rituals. What are they unleashing? Masonic rituals live on TV. It's all been exposed like Versace clothes. Just like MK Ultra, it's all my control.